Shalom, Israel. Shalom, shalom. Right? It's Brother Thawam coming at you with these precepts and another cold cut. First and foremost, giving all honor and all glory unto Yahweh, Bahashem Yahweh Shai. Yahweh is the name of the Most High, who the world calls God. Yahweh Shai is the name of his only begotten Son, who the world ignorantly calls Jesus Christ. Right? This is going to be a quick lesson through the Spirit, going into zeal. Right? We're going to speak on zeal. When you look up zeal in the blue letter, it's H7068, right? H7068, and it's going into having a jealous disposition, right? Having a jealous disposition, and it's a jealous disposition over your husband, right? That's what it's going into. Quick precepts, right, through the Spirit. Um, what I want, Jeremiah, right? Jeremiah chapter 3 and verse number 1. It says, "They say, if a man put away his wife and she go from him and become another man's, shall he return unto her again?" So in the law, if a man puts away his wife and she marries another man, he can't come back unto her, right? It says, "Shall not that land be greatly polluted? But thou hast played the harlot with many lovers, yet return again to me, saith the Lord." So this is speaking of the relationship between the Israelites and the Most High, right? The Israelites and Yahweh, by Hashem Yahweh Shai. So our people have gone into idolatry, but we are supposed to be espoused in the wife of the Lord, right? Second Ezra 6, Second Ezra 6 and 58, it says, "But we thy people, whom thou hast called thy firstborn, thy only begotten, and thy fervent lover, given into their hands." So, once again, this is qualifying that the Israelites, we are the wife of the Most High, right? And as the church, right, we are supposed to be zealous over the husbandman, right? Zealous over the head. And I'll get one more through the Spirit. This is Revelation 21, 21 and 2. It says, "And I, John, saw the holy city, New Jerusalem, coming down from the Most High out of heaven, prepared as a bride adorned for her husband." So when you going into zeal, your zeal is supposed to be is your fire or your passion for the Most High, right? Your zeal is supposed to be your fire and your passion for the Most High. See, the Lord told us in Exodus 34 and 14. Exodus 34 and 14, it says, "For thou shalt worship no other God, for the Lord, whose name is jealous, is a jealous God." So he gets jealous over us. So if he's jealous over us, we should be jealous over him. We should be jealous and zealous over his laws. And when we see our people breaking the laws of the Most High, it should put a spirit on us to want to defend the gospel, to want to defend, seeing our people in sin and setting them right through the spirit, right? And you got scoffers on the line saying that, saying evil and wicked things out their mouth, right? But Psalms 14 and 1 says, "The fool have said in his heart, there is no God." You see that? It says, "They are corrupt, they have done abominable works, there is none that doeth good." So, we got foolish people. So now you have people that want to stand, on the right hand of Satan and do Satan's work. But now you have the Israelites. We are supposed to be standing in righteousness with the Most High, with the Father, and putting forth, His laws, putting forth the commandments, and putting forth the faith and these different things for our people to grow in the spirit, right? So the Most High, He's jealous over us, right? And I'm gonna get this in Zechariah, right? Zechariah 1 and 14, right? And it's gonna be a short video through the Spirit. Zechariah 1 and 14, it says, "So the angel that communed with me said unto me, Cry thou, saying, Thus saith the Lord of hosts, I am jealous for Jerusalem and for Zion with a great jealousy." You see that? So, hey, the Most High gets mad when we're into idolatry. He gets mad at us when we're following the other nations. He gets mad at us when we're, not keeping the laws. So your zeal is you having that fire and that passion to want to please the Most High. That zeal is you wanting to turn up in righteousness and go hard in this truth, right? You want to stand in a multitude of sinners, and tell that's zeal, that's passion, and you want to have that passion when it comes to doing this work. You want to have that passion when it comes to doing this work. So, like, this is John chapter 2, right? John chapter 2 and verse number 13. It says, and the Jews' Passover was at hand, and Yahweh Shai went up to Jerusalem and found in the temple those that sold oxen and sheep and doves and the changers of money sitting, right? And when he had made a scourge of small cords, he drove them all out of the temple. So, hey, Yahweh Shai seen people exchange money, right? Currency exchange. He's seen people preparing sacrifices, and like brothers always bring out, you had our people, our forefathers and foremothers, who would in their minds say, I'm about to do this sin, so let me buy this sacrifice. I'm gonna buy this lamb, or I'm gonna buy these these doves. I'm gonna buy this sacrifice before I commit the sin. So then once I commit the sin, I can hurry up and bring the sacrifice so I can be, in good standings with the Lord. Right? That's wicked. That's not having a zeal for the most high. What that'll do is that'll kindle the zeal of a righteous man. And what happened with this righteous man, right? Yahweh Shah, the King of Kings, right? It says, and when he had made a scourge of small cords, he made a whip, like a small whip, right? He drove them all out of the temple, and the sheep, and the oxen, and poured out the changers of money and overthrew the tables. That's zeal. That's a passion, right? And we want to, when it comes to the temple of the Lord, right? Our bodies being the temple, the spiritual temple that's being built, we want to have that same zeal. We want to have that same desire to rid these evil spirits, to get these evil spirits out of us, to get these evil spirits off of us, right? And magnify the name of the Most High. Verse 16, it says, and said unto them that sold doves, take these things hence, make not my father's house and a house of merchandise. You see that? You don't defile the temple of the Lord. You don't come in here and just do what you want in the temple. That's why brothers get on brothers so hard when it comes to smoking, when it comes to fornication and tattoos, and these different things that defile your temple. Is because you're make take take these things hence. Make not my father's house and house of merchandise. Stop doing this wickedness to the temple of the Lord. Stop abusing your body, right? If you're gonna abuse your body or run your body into the ground, let it be for the work of the Lord. Let it be for the edification of the church. Let it be for you, getting your hands dirty trying to, clean the school, or you holding posts. Your feet might hurt, but hey, you putting that out there, right? And you presenting your body a living sacrifice, right? So you want to get, you don't want to make the Father's house a house of merchandise, right? Verse 17. And his disciples remembered that it was written, the zeal of thine house hath eaten me up, right? And that's Psalms 69. Psalm 69. So you want to have a righteous zeal. You want to have a passion, right, for the Most High, for doing his work, right? I'm going to get this in 1 Samuel, 2 Samuel, Salakia, 2 Samuel. Salakia, I want 1 Samuel, right? 1 Samuel chapter 17, right? And I'm going to start at verse 33. It says, and Saul said to David, thou art not able to go against this Philistine to fight with him, for thou art but a youth, and he a man of war from his youth. So this is David wanting to go against Goliath, right? And David is seeing how the Israelites are standing and how the Philistines are standing and you got Goliath in the middle, and Goliath is just saying, I mean, folly out his mouth. He's blaspheming the name of the Lord, right? He's defying the armies of the living God. Watch what David does, right? Verse 34. And David said unto Saul, thy servant kept his father's sheep, and there came a lion and a bear and took a lamb out of the flock. And I went out after him and smote him and delivered it out of his mouth. And when he arose against me, I caught him by his beard and smote him and slew him. So David, right, as a young man, as a shepherd, he's out here killing lions and bears, right, protecting the sheep. That's what we should be doing, right, as men of the Lord, right, as even as women of the Lord, right. You want to be guiding our people in righteousness, protecting the sheep. Verse 36, thy servant slew both the lion and the bear, and this uncircumcised Philistine shall be as one of them, seeing he have defied the armies of the living God. You see that? So, hey, David had a zeal. He had that jealousy in him and that spirit in him to rise up against Goliath. And that's the spirit that we want to have, is being uh, uh, jealous over the Most High. When somebody comes against the Israelites, right? You want to defend your brother, right? When somebody speaks against the Most High, you got to defend the Most High. Somebody step up and they, start running off at the mouth. You want to have that zeal and that passion and that jealous disposition over the Most High, over the laws, over your nation. You want to have that spirit in you to want to defend them, because hey, this all we got. I say it all the time. If I'm, I was at the damn dollar store. Jake had a bunch of stuff in his hand. He dropped it. I picked it up. I was like, yeah. And he was like, hey, thanks, man. And he was like, we need more of that. And I was like, yeah, bro, ain't nobody gonna look out for us but us. No, these other nations don't care about us. These other nations don't care about us. And it could have been an Edomite that helped him pick his stuff up, but they don't care about you at the same level as the Israelites and the Most High, chiefly the Most High. Nobody care about you the way the Most High can care about you. Nobody's gonna love you and protect you and take care of you the way the Most High will. So if that's the level, if he'll set up angels to protect you from demons, if he'll set up certain situations so that you can prosper, so that you can take care of your family, why not go hard for him, right? Why not go hard for him, right? You had Yahweh Shah, he went through all of the things that he went through, right, in that life. And I mean, being scourged, crown of thorns, whipped, beaten, smoked, you know what I'm saying? Mocking, spat on, all of these things he went through for us. So why wouldn't we have a zeal for him? Why wouldn't we want to have a desire to want to go against somebody, you know what I'm saying, that wants to oppose that? You got to have a zeal and a passion for the Lord, right? Second Kings, Second Kings chapter 10, and I'm gonna start at verse 15. It says, I'm gonna get straight to verse 16. It says, and he said, come with me and see my zeal for Yahweh. So they made him ride in his chariot. Hey man, I would like to if somebody walks up to you and say, come with me and see my zeal for the Lord. Hey, what you about to do? What is fitting to happen? Like what's about to go down? Because that's a bold statement to make. Right? I'm gonna read verse 15. It says, and when he was departed thence, he lighted on Jehonadab, the son of Rechab, coming to meet him. And he saluted him and said to him, is thine heart right as my heart is, as my heart is with thy heart? And Jehonadab answered, it is. If it be, give me thine hand. And he gave him his hand, and he took him up into his chariot. And he said, come with me and see my zeal for the Lord. So he made him ride in his chariot, right? And when he was come to Samaria, he slew all that remained unto Ahab in Samaria, right? So he was doing the Lord's work. When you jump down to verse, I'm going to try to get straight to the point. And we just went over this last night through the Spirit, right? All praise to the Most High. Um, Verse 19, it says, now therefore call unto me all the prophets of Baal, all his servants and all his priests. Let none be wanting, for I have a great sacrifice to do to Baal. So this is Jehu. This man has said, come and see my zeal for the Lord. Come and see my zeal for the Lord. he said he's going to do a great sacrifice for Baal. Uh-oh. What does this mean? Like, what's about to happen? It says, whosoever shall be wanting, so like it says, but Jehu did it in subtlety to the intent that he might destroy the worshipers of Baal. You see that? He did it to the intent to destroy everybody that's worshiping or following Baal, right? And when you read the rest of the account, hey, he set up this grand sacrifice in the house of Baal, and then he had everybody that worship Baal killed. Um, verse 28, right? Getting straight to the point. It says, thus Jehu destroyed Baal out of Israel. See, so through these actions and through his zeal for the Lord, and he destroyed Baal out of Israel, right? Set up this whole thing, sacrifice, and he had all of the Israelites that wanted to follow Baal. He had them all show up to the house of Baal, had them all killed, took down all of the idols and the graven images and burned them, and he made that place a place to damn use the bathroom, right? So read these accounts, right? Get into this thing. Um, it's two more I'm gonna get before I close down through before I close up to the spirit. Um, Second Maccabees, right? Second Maccabees, chapter 2. Second Maccabees, chapter 2, and verse number. So like it's First Maccabees. See that? First Maccabees, chapter 2, and verse number 23. It says, now, when he had left speaking these words, there came one of the Jews in the sight of all to do sacrifice on the altar, which was at Modin, according to the king's commandment. So you had this wicked Israelite getting ready to do a sacrifice based off of, what the king said, and not based off of what the Lord said. It says, verse 24, which thing when Mattathias saw, he was inflamed with zeal. He was inflamed with zeal. He had a heavy spirit for zeal and for that jealousy of the Lord. You are about to commit a sin that's so wicked and heinous. Hey, that zeal inflamed in him. He had a passion of anger, a righteous anger in him. Right? It says, in his reins trembled. Neither could he forbear to show his anger according to judgment. That's zeal, on fire for the Lord. And you're not about to do anything in front of me that's going to defy the Lord. You're not about to sit in front of me and commit some heinous act, and I just don't say anything and just don't do anything, right? Hey, that's the zeal for the Most High. That's that passion for the Lord, right? I'm going to read that part again. He says, he was inflamed with zeal, and his reins trembled. He's probably shaking, looking at this man get ready to do this thing, and he's like, "What the hell is going on?" Hey, right? Neither could he forbear to show his anger according to judgment, wherefore he ran and slew him upon the altar. Ran down and killed this Jew, right? Killed this Israelite man for getting ready to do a wicked and evil sacrifice unto a false idol. Hey, that's zeal. That's passion for the Lord. That's that jealousy. You're supposed to be jealous over the wickedness that you see in our people. You're supposed to be jealous over our people committing whoredom. Supposed to be jealous of our people defiling their temples. Supposed to be jealous of our people committing adultery and fornication. We're supposed to be jealous over all of these things. And when you see these things, you can't just turn a blind eye all the time, right? Right? Kind of running past my time, but man, all praise to the Most High, right? This is Isaiah, right? Isaiah 58 and 1. The Lord says, "Cry aloud, spare not, lift up thy voice like a trumpet, and show my people their transgression and the house of Jacob their sins." That's passion. That's zeal. We're supposed to have zeal in a godly jealousy for these laws and these commandments, right? For our people and for our nation, right? Want to get this in First Maccabees chapter 2 and 49, right? Matter of fact, I'm gonna close up with that. I'm gonna get Isaiah 59 and 16. Isaiah 59 and 16, it says, and he saw that there was no man and wondered that there was no intercessor. Therefore, his arm brought salvation unto him, and his righteousness it sustained him. For he put on righteousness as a breastplate and an helmet of salvation upon his head, and he put on garments of vengeance for clothing, and was clad with zeal as a cloak, right? So, hey, Yahweh Shai, hey, when he returns, he's going to have that zeal and that jealousy, right? And he's going to judge the earth in that passion, right? In that love for the Most High, and in that love for keeping his laws and his commandments. And we're not supposed to be taking up arms right now and trying to, you know what I mean, whatever, whatever, but we are supposed to be correcting our people. This is the spiritual warfare, right? So we're supposed to have that spirit in us to want to go out, correct the people, show them the right ways to move, and show them what they ought to be doing, and not allowing our people to be moving just however they want to move, right? Walking in paths that's going to get them destroyed. You got to correct them, cry loud and spare not. Correct your people, because that's real love. That's what real love is you walking in the commandments of the Lord. And us being the Israelites, right? I want to get this through the spirit. Um, Salakia. Oh, Salakia. See that? Uh, right? But hey, we got to have that jealous spirit, right? Right? And Salakia is Second John 1, right? Second John 1 and 1, right? The elder unto the elect lady and her children, whom I love in the truth, right? So, hey, the Israelites are the elect lady, and that's why we was speaking about earlier about how Israel, we're the fervent lover of the Lord. We're the ones that's why we commit spiritual fornication, because we are the elect lady, right? Lord willing, we're part of that number. But the elect lady, right? She's supposed to have this jealous disposition, right? She's supposed to be going out and making the words of the Lord known, right? That's what the elect lady does, right? And the Most High, you know, He's going to reconcile the elect. He's going to reconcile His people back to Him, right? Those that are submissive and obedient to the word, right? Zealous for the law, right? Zealous for the people and zealous for the Most High, right? And for the truth to go out, right? Not letting these false doctrines just run rampant, right? You can't just hear these false doctrines and just let them say and do what they want. You got to have some type of backbone to say something, right? This is Revelation 11, and I'm going to start at 2. It says, these are the two out. I'm gonna start at 3. And I will give power unto my witnesses, and they shall prophesy 1,260 days, clothed in sackcloth. These are the two olive trees and the two candlesticks standing before the Most High of the earth, right? Before the God of the earth. And if any man will hurt them, fire proceedeth out of their mouth, right? So that's a passion, right? Fire, the words of the Lord, right? The words of the Lord, it'll damn eat you up, right? Fire proceedeth out of their mouth and devoureth their enemies. And if any man will hurt them, he must in this manner be killed, right? He must in this manner be killed. So the elect, hey, they're gonna have that flame and that zeal for the Lord, right? They're gonna have that zeal and that flame for the Lord. And when they speak, he said, fire is going to proceed out of their mouth, right? Um, what I want, right? But the Lord said in Jeremiah, hey, he said he's going to make his the word of his mouth fire, right? And the people's going to be wood, right? And he's going to consume them. So that's that zeal, that jealousy, that passion that you want to have for the laws, for the Most High, for your nation, and for your people, and you want to stand on that right in these last days, right? And this is First Maccabees 2:49. It says, now when the time drew near that Mattathias should die, he said unto it, he said unto his sons, now hath pride and rebuke gotten strength, right? Evilness and wickedness is going on the earth, and the time of destruction and the wrath of indignation, right? The judgments of the Most High on Israel for our disobedience. Mattathias knew through the Spirit, this is the time where that judgment of the Lord is coming. And us right now seeing the things that's going on with Iran and Israel, seeing these different things, and Trump talking about the casualties that's going to be at war and how he's so nonchalant and pompous about the things that he's saying. We got to know that Jacob's trouble is around the corner. We got to know that that time of judgment is coming to our people, right? It says, "In the time of destruction and wrath of indignation. Now, therefore, my sons, be ye zealous for the law." We have to be zealous for the law of the Most High. "Now, therefore, my sons, be ye zealous for the law, and give your lives for the covenant of your fathers." And if, you know, Lord willing, we have a spirit about us to want to go hard until the end. If a brother or a sister, has to get killed for this truth, just know that there's a crown waiting for you. Know that there's everlasting life waiting for you. Know that the Most High, He's not gonna He's not going to allow that to just happen and there's no recompense. If you are in this truth and you are martyred for this truth, the Lord, that's an honorable thing in the sight of the Lord, right? You're roughly paraphrasing. He said, the death of the saints is precious in the sight of the Lord. So you gotta, understand that and know that. Be zealous. Give your life for the laws. Give your life for the covenant, right? The covenants, because the Most High made these covenants, these deals, right? These contracts with us and our forefathers. It's our nation that is responsible for upholding this law. So you have to have some level of zeal and have to have some level of passion to, uphold the law, uphold judgment, uphold faith, and uphold mercy, right, in these last days, right, while you're dealing with your people, right? But Lord willing, this was edifying. Lord willing, I'll get back into the other lesson I was doing throughout the Sabbath days. But Yahweh Bashem, Yahweh Shabbat Thumb, Shalom, Yasha Allah, Shalom, Shalom.